Hello, my intrepid students, and welcome to week 3 of Humanities 1301 online. This week, we are getting into the background, what steampunk was initially created from. That is, the Victorians. And we're going to be looking at the Industrial Revolution and the rise of Victorians. In other words, what gave way to the Victorians and why they were the way they were. So, this week we'll be looking at chapter 3 in Steampunk FAQ. Be sure to do that here for Wednesday. And don't forget to respond to at least 2 other classmates' posts. Then here is the lecture right here on the Industrial Revolution and the Rise of the Victorians. I will warn you, it is almost an hour-long essay. It is one of the longest lectures I have, but it's chock full of information and lots of other good stuff. We talk all about how the Victorians became the way they did. Secondly, there's this pretty good website about the Industrial Revolution and the rise of the Victorians, which I'm pretty sure I allude to in the lecture, but it's good for you to be able to go and see it. It's actually run by Encyclopedia Britannica, for those of you who remember encyclopedias. Then this particular bit of information is actually the assignment for later in the week. After reading about the Industrial Revolution and how it gave rise to the Victorian era, read through the following website about the Victorian era. Again, another good one. Be sure to read all the way to the bottom of the website, and feel free to watch any of the videos and click on any of the links that are in there, but keep in mind that, rabbit holes go pretty far. Once you've read through that website, I want you to sit down and think about 3 ways or 3 things that society has not changed or has changed very little from the Victorian era. Quite literally, without them, we wouldn't be where we are, whether it was technology or fashion or music, art. Pretty much, we still have complete outfits that are still considered Victorian today, despite the change in fabrics and some of the styles and things. But on the whole, men's suits haven't changed very much at all. In any case, be sure to do that. That is the assignment for later in the week. So you have chapter 3 questions and comments for the Wednesday assignment. The Victorian era assignment, very short, very simple, but important because I want you to realize how much we've changed and how little we've changed. And then finally, there's an additional assignment this week. Again, very short, but it's in that same vein of I want you to start looking for steampunk around you. Now that you've had a little bit of a taste of it, you have an idea of what inspired it, what inspired the aesthetic, being the Victorians. Take a look at your surroundings, your home, where you work, where you go to school, perhaps the drive in between. See if you can find anything that you might classify as steampunk. Conversely, you could also look for things that you use every day that have been steampunked. That's a little bit of a fun rabbit hole adventure on the internet, looking for, I don't know, steampunk toothbrush, for example. Something as ridiculously mundane and as simple as a toothbrush has been, I don't know, bedazzled, I guess, in the steampunk way. So have some fun with that. I do want to remind you guys about where you can find the chapters in the book if you're having issues getting your book. Right here under Steampunk FAQ temporary link, that will take you to a Google Drive where you can get through the introduction all the way up to chapter 5 and then chapter 10 separately. So be sure to be working on getting your book. But if you are having issues with getting it, here are some of the early chapters just to get you started. Also under the novels link is The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, which you should be reading because remember, in week 5, 2 short weeks from now, we will be going over The Time Machine and you will have been expected to have read the entire novel by then. It's really not that long. You could probably read it in a couple sit downs depending on how you read, or set yourself a timer, read for 15-20 minutes, but you want to make sure that you're working on that. Also, I wanted to remind you about the final project proposal, which I believe was due yesterday. But remember, like anything else in my Blackboard, if you can still see it, you can still turn it in. So be sure to keep that in mind. In any case, that is all I have for you this week. Don't forget about your cultural event. Always keep that in mind as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, or you can ask in the class discussion board, the course general Q&A discussion board right here, where I'm happy to answer that. And if you happen to see somebody ask a question there and you know the answer, you're welcome to answer it too. As always, have a better week, and I shall talk to you later.